I'm a divorced single dad, father of 5 kids. It can be tough raising kids today. Believe me, there are high times and low times. It comes with the territory. But in all my years of parenting, I try to give some good advice. Advice to those parents who are out there willing to listen. My name is Price Van Ray, and welcome to my show. Today we're going to be talking about you will worry about your newborn. But first, I want to congratulate all the new parents out there. Boy, are you in for the time of your life. This is an exciting time and a great adventure, so cherish every moment. Now on with the show. So that's right, today we are going to be talking about how you will worry about your newborn. You know, being a parent is something new for you. You've never experienced anything like this in your life, and you don't know what to expect, but you hope things will work out. You hope you'll be a great parent. Now, when you worry, everybody worries. Everybody worries in life. I don't know anybody in life who does not have the burden of worrying. I mean, you worry about family, how they're going to be, how they're going to act, where they're going to be in the future, where they are, all that stuff. You worry about friends. You worry about your job, if you're going to have a job. You worry about everything, but being a parent, that can bring on some extra worries. But I think these are worries which are well-founded. You see, when a child is born, you are so happy. You can't believe you've actually created a brand new baby that is in this world. So, when you bring your baby home, I know when I brought the baby home, I was worried about something called SIDS, Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. That's when a baby dies in their sleep. I remember hearing so much about it. And I was actually touched in my life by it, unfortunately. You see, a friend at my job had a newborn baby. Their baby died of SIDS. He was devastated. I couldn't imagine that happening to me. And I had a child. I was worried so much that could happen to me. I consoled my friend like everybody else. Of course, this is something nobody ever wants to happen to anybody in this world. But he made it through it with his family and with his friends. So when it came to my baby, as always, I was up late at night, always checking on the baby, making sure the baby's still breathing. And I'm going to tell you, when you're a new parent, you have a lot of nights like that. You're always up every 20 minutes, every 10 minutes, every 30 minutes. You become like the lightest sleeper in the world. It's amazing. Every little sound you hear will wake you right up. But the things you learn, things they try to tell you about SIDS, some say don't put your baby on their back because they can vomit and choke on it. Others say put the baby on the side, but I'm not even sure which one's right because every time I had a child, it seems like the rules changed. The benchmark was moved. So I just had to cross my fingers, hope and pray I did a good job and my baby would be safe. I do remember I worried all the time because you see, you don't want anything to happen bad to your child because a baby is brand new in the world, and you want to make sure you take care of it. A baby is very precious and very fragile. You have to hold them very carefully. Can you imagine holding a frozen rose? That's right, a frozen rose. You see, I believe I have held one before, and if you put too much pressure on the rose that's frozen, the petals break. You don't want that to happen to your child. You always want your child to be safe, and you always want to be very delicate with that child because they can be very fragile. Now, as parents, you always worry about the newborn, but let's face it, you have hopes and dreams for your baby. You always worry about their safety, whether or not they're going to be safe, whether or not they're going to get too close to the staircase, fall down, whether or not they're going to put their hand on a hot stove, whether or not they're accidentally going to put their hand in a toaster. But you always worry about them being safe when you take them out for walks to the park, if they're going to run out in the street, away from you, pulling away from your hand. I remember when I taught my children how to ride their bike. Oh, you worry about them falling over. You worry about them skinning their knees. You worry if they're going to get back on that bike and ride again. But of course, in life, that's what happens. you try to teach your kids in life, sometimes you're going to fall, but you got to get back up. And a lot of experiences in life will teach your kid something about this, especially your newborn. Always going to worry. You're going to worry when your child goes away to kindergarten for the first time. I mean, they've been with you for a few years now. They're part of your world. You have 2 arms, 2 legs. But when you have a child, it's like you have 3 arms, 3 legs. You got to worry when they go off to school, like high school, whether or not they're going to make friends, whether or not they're not going to make friends or be bullied, because we always worry about our children. You're going to worry when they get their first job, whether or not it's going to be successful, whether or not they're going to be happy, whether or not they're going to love it, whether or not it's something that they want to do. You're going to worry about their first love, whether or not they're going to learn. And as your kids grow up, they are going to want to have a party. You're going to worry about their first party they go to, whether or not they're going to remember what you taught them. Safety first. And you're going to have to trust that they're going to do the right thing. You know, kids are going to drive when they get older. That's right, you're going to worry about your firstborn. And when they drive, the first time they're alone in a car, you're going to worry. Hey, you're going to worry if that car is going to come back, but you're also going to worry if they're going to be safe, because you always want your child safe. You're going to worry about the kind of friends they make. Hopefully they're positive friends. You don't want your kids to be friends with somebody who's going to bring them down, somebody who's not going to be a positive influence in their life. And you're going to worry about their safety, no matter what happens, whether they're walking on the street, whether or not they're going to school. We worry, and that's what parents do. But you worry about being a good parent, because there is no perfect book. You can take pieces of your book, just like pieces of your experiences when you grow up. You take experiences with your parents, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. But we're always going to worry. We worry about our diet, whether or not the child's got a great diet or not. You worry about the clothes they wear. You worry about the safety of environment. Let me tell you a story. I remember when my son was born, my last son. I have 5 kids. And we decided to get a dog. The dog was very big. And my son was lying on the bed. We had gotten the dog from the pound. He had a hip problem. But as he walked off the bed, he stepped on my son's eye. And I thought, oh my God, I thought he might have lost his eye. But it basically scratched him underneath the eye. I worried that the dog was actually going to hurt my son again by accident. I mean, the dog didn't do it on purpose. So we had to return the dog. And hopefully the dog had a better home. You worry about the dangers of babysitting, whether or not your child's going to be safe. But, I can bring you back to another story about my son, Naylan. I used to put a onesie on him all the time, try to keep him safe, because babies often scratch their faces and with their hands, so you got to put little socks on their hands to keep them safe. But I remember changing his diaper, and I noticed one of his toes had turned purple and black. I freaked out. I was a parent. I didn't know what to do. I looked closer, and I guess a long piece of hair had wrapped itself around my son's toe, almost severing it off. I freaked out. I was so nervous and shaky. I was worrying. I thought he was going to lose his toe. I rushed him to the hospital. The doctor assured me, oh, this happens all the time. And I'm thinking, this doesn't happen to me. I try to be a great parent. I try to keep my child safe. So how is this even possible? The doctor removed the hair from around my son's toe, and I thought for sure he was going to lose his toe, but it was like he grew another one. I couldn't believe it. His toe was fine after. And to this day, I look at his toe and I'm still amazed. There's no sign of any damage or anything like that. I worried about that for the longest time. As a parent, that's what you do. You worry. It seems like it's all we do all the time is worry about the safety of our child. I want to say being a parent is a big step into the world of responsibility. You are now the responsibility of another human being and their life. You will worry no matter what. It's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, but it is reality. I mean, that is what love is all about. You want the best for your child. You want them to excel. where the road ended for you. You want them to be the best that they can ever be. At least that's what I was taught. Being a parent does not come with a manual. It comes with experience. Experience that is your own. And what and how you choose to use it will depend on you and how you see the world. Will we worry all the time as parents? Yes. And you will be a good parent. Don't worry. I want to thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new podcast is posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with your family and friends. I hope that you're leaving with some great things to make you think. Remember this one last bit of advice. Tomorrow is never promised, so don't go to bed angry at your child or anyone you love. And before you go to bed tonight, hug your child and tell them, I will love you forever, Dad. See you next time here on Forever Dad.